Awesome. Accesses infinite potential inside of us, and it invites infinite infinite potential that is around us to come together and dance and play. This is the foundation for affirmative prayer. As I continue breathing, I invite you to do the same. There is this energy inside of me that is beautiful and powerful. Sometimes I call it spirit, sometimes I call it goddess, sometimes I call it godness. I proclaim and invite each person watching this to notice what's inside of you. Each person has a different flavor. Each person has a different access to that infinite potential, that spirit, that godness inside. I invite you to breathe into that and invite it forward. That's the foundation for prayer. This flavor of affirmative prayer. And as I notice my internal godness, I notice the external godness too, the entire universe, the oneness that surrounds us always. These two things are a beautiful gift when we say yes to them, when we notice them. I bless each being on this call. I bless each being watching this recording. I say thank you for continuing to have the sacred yes, the curiosity, the willingness to continue growing. I bless CSL Boulder Valley, this amazing organization here in Lafayette, Colorado. And I say thank you to all the participants, all the congregants, all the laity, all the people that contribute their time, their talent, their treasure. I say thank you. I bless this conversation. I bless this coming togetherness, this sacred meeting. And I release this prayer into the love and the law. And I invite us to say together, and so it is. Anything for anybody before I start the screen share? Nope. Okay. You go ahead and do the screen share.
This is our place, come on in. Our place, so glad you're here. Our place, everybody's welcome. We see God on every face. Love lives here in this place. Welcome to our place, our sweet place.
So the title of this talk is Black History Month. Pain pushes until vision pulls. Oops, gonna do a little computer magic here. One moment. Come on. Trying to, there we go. I'm moving the screen share around. Pain acts as a pushing force that compels us to address discomfort or challenges. While the vision of a desired outcome serves as a pulling force that inspires us to move forward and make positive changes in our lives. By recognizing the interplay between pain and vision, we can harness their combined influence to propel personal growth, resilience, and well-being. If you must look back, do so forgivingly. If you must look forward, do so prayerfully. However, the wisest thing you can do is to be present in the present, gratefully. Maya Angelou. When we experience pain, it creates a sense of discomfort or dissatisfaction that pushes us to seek relief or improvement. Pain can be a signal that something's wrong or that we're facing obstacles or challenges that need to be addressed. It can motivate us to take action, make changes, or seek solutions to alleviate the pain and restore well-being. And the role of vision or understanding our desired outcome shapes our response to pain. Parents listen to their son's transplanted heart in the chest of the recipient of his gift. There's only one race, the human race. While pain may initially push us, it is ultimately the vision of a better future or the pursuit of our goals and aspirations that pulls us forward. Having a clear vision of what we want to achieve or the life we desire can provide us with the motivation and direction to overcome pain and work towards a more positive state. My silence had not protected me. Your silence will not protect you. Wow. And that's Audre Lorde. She's an author, professor, activist. Amazing, amazing being on the planet. So when I was almost done with my 2-year training to be a practitioner, one of the last things I had to do was take an oral board in front of a minister and 2 practitioners. And about a week before the oral board, I was walking from one building to another building at Mile High Church. I worked facilities there. And I got this text. And I stopped and pulled out my phone. And it was a message from the family member that had sexually abused me when I was a kid. And he was coming into town in a couple of weeks. And I'm standing there, and the still small voice in my head, that wise voice in my head says, you text your voice dialogue coach and you get a session before you do your oral board. Boom, I immediately text her. She immediately answers, nope, I don't got anything for 2 weeks. And I'm standing there, and an ego voice in my head says, oh, you're fine. You don't need to go do a therapy session. You know, you're good. You've been in practitioner training for 2 years. You're good. Okay. So I walk into my oral board and I'm wearing a wool sports coat. And I sit down and I'm instantly drenched in sweat. And I take off my coat and put it over the back of the chair. And my armpits are just dripping with sweat. And they start asking me questions. And I am checked out. I am nervous. I am a mess. I'm a hot mess. Using jargon nowadays, I'm a hot mess. Well, I failed the oral board. And when a person fails the oral board, they have to wait a year before they can retake it. So a couple days after this, you know, for those 2 days, I grieved like crazy, screamed and yelled and grieved like crazy. It was rough. Well, a couple days afterwards, I called my voice dialogue coach, and she said, you get your butt back in EMDR, eye movement desensitization retinue. It's a powerful modality to heal trauma. And here's the thing, about 8 months before the oral board, I'd done one session. I did one EMDR session, and it helped a lot. And I'm getting ready to go. And she says, do you want to schedule another one? I said, no, I'm good. You know, I think I healed a lot. And she said, I highly recommend that you do a series of these. We're dealing with sexual abuse from childhood. It's deep wounding. And I fluff it off. Oh, I'm good. I'm fine. Well, in that oral board, that unhealed sexual abuse arose. The energy and the memories, and a couple of people that were interviewing me kind of reminded me of the family member. So after I failed the oral boards, I did 20 EMDR sessions over the next year, and I healed a bunch of that sexual abuse. See, the pain of the sexual abuse was masking. That's one of the things that trauma and severe challenges does. It masks and keeps you in place. It keeps us stuck in place. See, the pain doesn't want to heal. The pain wants to stay in charge because the pain thinks it's vital for your survival, for my survival. So after I failed the oral board, the vision that was pulling me forward was graduating, finishing my 2-year program and becoming a practitioner. And I did it. A year later, I did it and I passed it with flying colors. And I moved on in my journey. I started ministerial school after that. Pain pushes until vision pulls. So we have 12 principles here at Science of Mind, Centers for Spiritual Living. And this is number 7. And this comes from the book, Living the Science of Mind. The book, Living the Science of Mind, translates the book that Ernie Holmes, I like to call him Ernie, the founder of our church, Ernie Holmes wrote like in the 30s and 40s and 50s. And that's a powerful book, but it's kind of a hard read. It's in older English. The Science of Mind is a translation. It's much easier to read and easier to get the technology and the wisdom. So anyway, number 7 is, as goodness is realized, discord disappears. So for me, when I went back into EMDR and did 20 sessions, that was goodness being realized in my life. That was me healing sexual abuse from childhood. And a lot of that discord disappeared. So my question for you, and this is the strand or the seed for this next conversation that I'd like all of us to have, is what are you choosing? Are you choosing pain, judgment, and evaluation? Or are you gifting yourself, blessing yourself, and embracing vision? So I'm going to check in with folks. Does it work to keep the recording going, or should we stop the recording before this next portion?
Stop.
Okay, go ahead and stop it. Hey, Sandy, welcome. I see your ceiling fan blowing around.
Say what?
He's over here, Sandy. I don't know what the name of the talk is, so I didn't say anything.
Oh,
Okay, I just stopped the recording.
it's a fundraising. Freedom.
Yeah, but you told me what the name of the talk was.
Did I?
How I found something in freedom on death row, or
I'll pull it back up for you here, Dave. I can hear you talking. Pain
Oh.
pushes until vision pulls. Is that enough, Dave? I guess he muted. Okay. Cool. Oh, it's still recording. One moment. Stop recording.